Yeah, we find her, the beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. Say Gossip, the remix.
DMB, Tuck Spice, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give it the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like the mother dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us in your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty what's worth of a lady. It's nice but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time. But then it took a long fine eye. I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. It was right at the bus station. I tried to make a conversation, holding her arms, feeling so tough. I felt this sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Now I realize I found me a beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, a killing eye. I found me a beautiful girl.
My wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe, shaped like a cocoa bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess with your beauty. I'm impressed and I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man and now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk, she must be from the planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger, we look good together. Take your place in my heart with your beauty. I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
Such the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep staring in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. Your beauty shines and breeze at night. All I really want in my life. Oh yeah. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl. What beautiful girl? Yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money. You seen her? Hot Ice. Have you seen her? LP. Have you seen her? I'ma go over to Tux Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tux, it's DMV, baby. Look. Beautiful. I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time, I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile. What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer, and when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lace several presents and gifts. Call me Santa Claus. I make a heartbeat pause. That's my girl, homeboy, not yours. The girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me Aston Kutcher, I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'ma go get her. Since I'm a go getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I will give her the world, anything for my beautiful girl.
Psych. Ooh, it's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine, brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing time. I found a beautiful girl.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
Welcome back. What's going on? Let's just make sure audio is good. How's day? Awesome. Audio is good. Welcome back. All right. What's going on? Wow, that was a much needed break. I took a day break or so. But welcome back. If you're watching me, this is our late night version. We're going to be running the late night version for the next 2 weeks, maybe a little bit more. 10 p.m. at night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York time. 1 hour, okay? Just 1 hour. So you don't have to worry about going to bed late or anything like that. But welcome back. As you're coming in, do me a favor, hit that like button, share and subscribe. Share. We have a lot of things we're cooking up that's going to be extremely valuable to you if you're looking to master a relationship in the modern times, in the modern age. This is the time to master this right now. A lot of people are going to be struggling for a while, for many decades to come. Okay, so if you want to make sure that you avoid that, this is definitely the place to be, because we found a hack. Okay, we have a formula. And part of that formula is that application is key in all of it. Okay, but welcome back. My name is Ola. I'm coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios. Yes. Over here, we basically talk about relationships. We talk about power. We talk about self-power, social, emotional intelligence. We talk about seduction and attraction. Okay. We avoid anything that looks like playing the victim. We just kind of avoid that. Okay. I believe there are many other platforms that will pay more attention to that for you, if that's what you're looking for. Not too far area. Good to see you. And shout out to all 7 of you watching me, 6 watching me in the background. I know it's late night. Okay, so this is a late night version. I know we'll catch up soon. Many of you will probably catch up in the morning. That's fine with me. You can always support. The super chat is always lit. It's also lit when you do watch it in the morning. There's always a $sign if you want to support. It's always welcomed. It's always appreciated. It's always encouraged, because it helps us keep things going. All right. Today we're talking about Men of Prestige got cancelled by abroad wives and modern wives. And here's why. Yes, we were cancelled over the last 48 hours. But, God is greater. God is greater. Hey, yeah. Wahala. Now, today we're going to continue the reaction we were supposed to do 48 hours ago before it got derailed a little bit. We'll continue a little bit. At the bottom of the hour, maybe in about 20 minutes, I'll drop the link for anybody who wants to come up if you have a point. But I will continue the conversation until the top of the hour, and then we'll end the show. That's how we're going to do it for the next 2 weeks. Okay, so I just want you to keep that at the back of your mind. Like I said, these are the things we cover right here. You can download the book. The book is absolutely free. This book right here, you can download it for free. You can also access other different types of other different versions of the book, just make sure you leave a review for me on wherever platform you get it from. It's called Get My Marriage Back. Okay, I don't sell marriage, but I help people learn how to do marriage properly. All right, and particularly we help people relationship to master relationships. All right, so now with that being said, one more thing, don't forget, if you want to be notified directly by me instead of relying on the YouTube algorithms, just go to lolaanola.com/WhatsApp, and if that link doesn't work for you, you can send a WhatsApp message to this phone number +1732 305 8577. All right, so I do have something that I want us to cover today. There's a quick short video right here. There's a short video. Shout out to Alice. Alice, I don't know what that is here. Maybe they have a different name here. I'm not sure. They sent me this video earlier, and I thought, I thought we should cover this really quickly. Hey, Blessed, what did Blessed say? Blessed say, Mr. Allah, go be with your wife, or it is late. By the way, I'm reading your book. It is really interesting. That's awesome. You know the funny thing about being with my wife, being with her all day. Okay, so right now she's trying to lay sleep, so, but because of other things that have going on over the next 2 weeks, we're going to be doing this 10 p.m. at night, but no worries, I got that covered. Thank you though. Thank you, I appreciate you. Thank you, Blessed. And let me know, make sure you leave a review once you're done with the book. All right, so there's this video that was sent to me. I thought we should review it quickly. First of all, before I get to this video, let me just talk about this getting cancelled thing, right? We got cancelled because, I keep telling all of you, especially gentlemen, okay? It's not good enough that you're a good guy, okay? I'm going to keep telling you that until you get it right, okay? It's not good enough that you're a good guy. You live in a vicious, dangerous world. You're a king. To whom much is given, much is expected. Failure is not final. Okay? Failure is an opportunity to learn. Failure is an opportunity to grow, to advance, to step up your game, right? It's a game. It's not a joke, it's a game. There's a difference between a joke and a game. Okay? No one is playing jokes or playing games with your life. But your life is a game. It requires skills. And you are competing in a very active marketplace. Yes, someone is always out to snatch your wife, your husband. Not always directly, but it's an active marketplace. Okay, so you got to pay attention to that. One of the dangerous things about this world is that you don't really have to commit an offense directly. All you have to do is associate with the wrong crowd, and everything you've ever cooked up, everything you've ever counted on that you've been building can be pulled right from under you just because you associated with the wrong person. It doesn't have to be deliberately intentional. Well, again, like I said, when these kind of things happen, it's an opportunity to grow. The question is that, are you going to embrace the growth, or you're going to play the victim? It's completely up to you. There's a difference between being the victim and playing the victim. Being the victim can happen to any one of us, okay? But continue to perpetuate playing the victim, that's your choice. That's a matter of choice. You can make that choice, or you can decide, wait. Let me assign a different meaning to the things that happened to me that might have been unfortunate or feel unfortunate. It's completely up to you what you do with that. Or you can decide to go the other route, which is spend the rest of your energy, your life, pointing fingers at everything else but self. It's up to you. And there's no crime in either route you take, but there are consequences. There are grave consequences for what you do with yourself. So, yes, I in particular was cancelled, but it's not about being cancelled. Like I said, failure is not final. It's about how you respond to it. The things that happen in your life, how do you respond to it? What meanings do you attach to them? That's completely your choice. Yes, it's your choice. And again, there's no crime, there's no right and wrong in either way you go. But there are consequences, okay? And I just hope that you pay attention to the kind of consequences and the results you're creating. If you're creating a certain type of result, if you keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, I think some people call that insanity. I would just pay attention to that. Okay, so no big deal. I love their abroad wives. They're trying to survive. Where the abroad wives are finding out what's going on is that they're finding out that they were always in a challenging relationship. But certain environments condone certain things, and certain environments will provoke, and insecurities will rise to the top, and then it might not be able to stand. It's just a reality of life, right? So what are you gonna do about that? What are you gonna do? Let's just say, who cancel me? No worries. Let's just leave it at that, right? But it's a good thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's how you respond to it that matters. You might have associated with the wrong people. You're just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and it's gonna happen to you. And it has nothing to do with you're a bad person. I guarantee you. Okay. As a matter of fact, if you're really, really a good person in your opinion, that might have been a blind spot, gentlemen. Okay. Maybe that's a blind spot. Okay, because clearly you think you deserve candy because you're a good person. It doesn't work like that. Okay, it's how you respond to it. Okay, but this is a beautiful day, another beautiful day. Like I said, we're going to continue the conversation. These are going to be tough conversations. We're going to continue the conversations. However, we will be drawing some lines. Okay, we will be respectful. That's what we're going to do. Okay, we're going to be respectful to each other. We're going to learn how to have tough conversations without calling each other names. Okay, that's what it's boring. I know it's boring. Okay, but that's the only way to do it, to accomplish the goal we're looking for. Okay, so we're going to take our time and be patient with the process. We're not going to jump ship. We're not going to cut corners with the process. It's going to take a minute. And if anybody gets triggered in the middle of that, I'm sorry. But we're going to have to go through the process. That's where the work is. Okay? With that being said, shout out to everybody that left a comment on the public statement that I made. Shout out to everybody that had one or two things to say. Shout out to everybody who decided to group all of the men together and didn't really pay attention. Shout out to all of you. Okay? But this conversation must continue. Okay? But thank you. All right. Hey, Kathy Williams, good to see you. All right, so what I wanted to do today right now is I wanted to continue this conversation by two videos. We'll continue the Daddy Freeze one that we were supposed to do 2 days ago, but there's this one that Alice sent to me in Instagram. If you're not yet following me on Instagram, please go ahead and do that. Okay, just search for Men of Prestige on Instagram. Follow me, share some videos with me. I might just highlight some of them here. Okay, this video right here, let's listen.
Women were made only for three things: to obey men, to reproduce, and to take care of children.
What did he say? He said women were created for three things: to obey men, to reproduce, and what? Let's go back a little bit.
Women were made only for three things: to obey men, to reproduce,
and
to take care of children.
In this guy's opinion, that's all women were made for. Okay, and I will probably do about 2 hours of analyzing what he said and see if it makes any sense at all. I'll tell you right now, it doesn't make any sense. But I'm sure it makes sense to him, okay? But let's see. Somebody else had something to say. I thought it was funny. The person did a better job than I would have done. Oh, your coffee break say I'm getting triggered. You're already getting triggered. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Yay. Let's listen to the response. Sometimes you just have to be patient. Somebody's probably going to take on the mantle and do justice.
If you read the Bible, that's the only three things that women were made for.
He said according to the Bible. Okay, let's go back.
Made for.
That was no Bible. That was your village handbook. Now, I know a lot of you were expecting me to roast him, but no, we're not going to do that. That's too easy. Instead, we're going to address the malnutrition points he made. So you mean these women will not work or do anything with their lives?
Malnutrition point.
Listen, passive Bible reader. What happened to Miriam, the prophetess? You remember? What happened to Deborah? You know, the one that was also a judge, that was also a military leader, that was also a prophetess. You know that one? Queen Esther, a whole ruler. Are you sure you're not reading your medication manual? What about Phoebe in the book of Romans 16? You know, the one that contributed immensely to the growth of the ministry, even financially too, part that Paul even attested for.
You didn't read any Bible.
I could go on. Imagine if those women listen to this type of incomplete scholar with his 3 commandments. Do you think they will achieve all those things?
3 commandments.
This is what happens when you surface read the Bible and you start assuming everybody did the same thing based on a few examples you know.
Hardship learning.
Even after all this, he'll probably still say I'm wrong. Ladies, you can follow his doctrine. Just remember that even the women in the Bible did not follow those guys' 3 commandments.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, I'm sorry. You're going to see more and more of this kind of conversations. It's good. It's a good thing because it's uncovering the kind of things that you're probably dealing with silently before that's creating challenges for you. Either you're a man or a woman. This mindset, somebody has this mindset and it's creating problems, and you might not have known why, but people are speaking up, right? So they're speaking up, and when they speak up, there will be more guys like this. Taye Niger, his name is Taye Niger. Alice shared it with me in Instagram. So Taye 9ja. So you could go check him out. But I thought it was good response to this. I don't really need to do too much work to it, you know. It is what it is. But like he said, these 3 commandments, the shallowest thing you probably will hear, but somebody is carrying that around in their head for many reasons. Maybe they've gone through some experiences and they're looking for exact science, easy, simple solution, like a quick conclusive answer to solve that problem in their head. But the problem is still exists in real life, and of course most women in these times are going to be like, are you mad? You whiny. You know, if you move like this in your family, no matter how good you are of a man in your head, you're going to end up in the bottle, okay? All right, now let's move on to the rest of this conversation we were supposed to have.
A woman look at say, even if she's not the work.
All right. So this was the content we're supposed to be doing 2 days ago, and then it got taken over by the conversation that we had, which I appreciated that conversation, by the way. It was good. It was an opportunity to grow as a community, okay? And shout out to Natu, who said drop the link. I appreciated that. We need that every now and then. So I will continue to drop the link because I do want to encourage people to have these conversations. However, once we cross any funny, crazy lines, I will call it out as soon as we can call it out, okay? 3 strikes. If anything is extremely disrespectful, then we're just gonna have to end and not have such conversations with that particular person if that ever happens. But I want to encourage everyone to have the conversation. We just have to draw some kind of lines, okay? Shout out to Daddy Freeze for this content. So let's get into it. Remember, today we had the thumbnail that says I make 6 figures. I have 6 figures or 6 figures welfare. That's what this is about. That's what we're discussing. So let's get into it.
Promote you for the house now. They go the pam. You go the pam for child support. Government go the pam for domestic violence pay. Then the children, they go they pay the children. They support the children. So if you're a greedy woman, once you see all those pay where they come from your hand, you go even say you don't need the man anymore. Because after all, the money when you go they make from those things, from those lies, go even better, big past the one where when she did with her husband. So most of the thing now greediness they cause, and when woman is more greedy, she go come into your life, she go pretend saying a very nice woman, you go to saying.
It said most of this thing is greediness that's causing it. Essentially what it's trying to say is not the emotion of greediness, is it's talking about the love of money, okay? That's what he's talking about. So you'll find a lot of semantics, mishandling, and all over the place, misconception, misinterpretation. You'll find them, and they are part of the reasons why these things are so complicated, right? Because I might use one word, you use the same word, and we mean completely two different things, okay? And yet we both understand the dictionary meaning of the word, right? It's just everyone is coming from a different place, right? He said greediness, but I think what it means, yes, I'm telling you what it means. Ola, you're not supposed to tell him what it means. He knows what it means. No, I know what it means. He's talking about the love of money. He's trying to blame money for not knowing how to handle his wife. That's all he's trying to do, okay? I promise you. But let's keep listening.
Love you, he go do this. But as soon as you don't bring her come over you go or where you they live, her behavior could come out. And most of the time now they are friends. Some of them when they don't start to the work, they will now meet some female friends. Some of the friends where they meet now the one.
This is another case of bad friends, bad influence. We have a video that will play right after this. Make sure you watch that video about the bad influence thing. I addressed that in a different video. But let's keep going.
When they brainwash them, most of them they get say like all the single mother because for abroad here, a single mother they rent. Now even they get level past normal people waiting for husband. So once you do women don't they mingle with those single mother, they go come brainwash them, give them.
So it's the friends that are brainwashing them. Is it influence or brainwashing? Which one is it? Brainwashing and influence are two different things. Brainwashing sounds like something that's a little bit more intentional, deliberate to me. I may be wrong, correct me, but that's what it sounds like to me, right? Or it's just influence, right? Which one is it? Wahala.
Yeah. Say if you date single, you go they make better money pass your when you date with your husband.
So a friend would just come to you and say, "Hey, if you are single, you will make better money." Is this how it's going down out there? This is how it's working. This is how you think it is. A friend just say, "Hey, you can make more money if you are single." Wait, what? Just for being single, you make more money, right? First of all, that's false. It's not reality, but I get what he's saying. That a friend will actually tell your wife. Right? Okay. So that tells me that you're married to somebody who is slow, who will believe something so shallow, right? Or maybe it's true. Well, shout out to Auntie B. She told me there's some. It's not even UK. It says some European countries, and some people will actually send their wife over to certain parts of Europe to collect money. But we're talking about Thatcher. Somebody mentioned that here 2 days ago too, like poverty line type of money. Right? So again, every time you point fingers, always remember that 4 of those fingers are pointing right back at you. I didn't say you're wrong, I'm just saying something is off. That 4 fingers that are pointing at you is what I'm paying attention to. Like, what is going on here, right? Why is it that you're in a position where your wife will basically deem welfare money good money, right? You'll make money if you go single. What was happening with that marriage in the first place, right? Can we address that part? Anyway, let's keep going.
So that's the problem that's been going on.
Hey,
so like people will be cultural. If you're cultural, have that cultural mindset as an African man. My advice is say no even try to stay.
All right, so this is not an African men. We don't complain like this, okay? We just don't, okay? Yes, even African traditional men, we just don't have time for this type of behaviors. We don't. Let's be honest, okay? Let's be honest. Obviously not all African men, but if we have to generalize and stereotype, African men are not known, especially Nigerian men, are known for taking care of their ladies. That's the stereotype that's actually popular out there. Now, in terms of taking care of their ladies emotionally, that's a different conversation. But if we're to use money, right? This is the African men that are going japa abroad. Okay, that's what it's looking like. Okay, because even the ones that live in Nigeria that have normalized cheating, extramarital affairs, somehow they still take care not just of their wife, they take care of all those side chicks. So this is starting to look like it's all those japa brothers that's having this complaining. I'm just saying maybe you should pay attention to something here, right? You want to call it enlightenment? Let's keep going.
Woman, just there on your own as a guy man. If you get woman for Nigeria, they visit them every year or every 2 years.
What is guy man? Somebody enlighten me. Guy man means just being a single guy. Is that what that means? Is that what guy man is? Because I'm missing something. I thought guy man just mean guy, but it looks like they're using guy man in a certain context here. Does that mean you're free to do anyhow how you like, or does that mean you're a playboy? Is guy man playboy? Is that what that is? Let me know.
As the case may be, that one will save you a lot. Because if you don't get that issue, say woman can't take your child from you, can't put you for that child support, like you say, that's in the stress man. That's like the stress man. The money where you go they pay, go even as you they work harder, the more you they work, the more you go they pay up. And not only that, if you not say the woman can't give AV on you, if you can't breach her, direct to police cell. They will arrest you. If they arrest you, you don't get criminal record with that. And you get the criminal record, you go affect your working rights. If you they work, you not even they work. I don't even see one of my friends, the wife even give them allegation, say the man rape her. Now Nigerian man, they are from both of them. They're from, I think they're from the Yoruba part of Nigeria. The man bring the woman and come to this country. After they don't born 2-3 children, the woman come raise up, say the man rape her. Your own wife, you go to
that word. They code your word. They code your word because of.
Say the woman can't say the man arrow him. Might use the word arrow him. Understand? So as the man now even now you go woman where the woman married before. Even come tell me say man no even try.
I missed something. Let me rewind. Although I don't want him to use that word, but I have to rewind a little bit.
You go affect your working rights. If you they work, you stress man. That's like the stress man. The money where you go they pay. Go even as you they work harder, the more you they work, the more you go they pay up. And not only that, if you say the woman can't give AV on you, if you can't breach them, direct to police.
So he's talking about if you breach child support. That's what he's talking about, right? That it gets worse and worse and worse. Yes, let me tell you, gentlemen, if you end up in those courts, if you don't listen to what I'm telling you right now, if you do something, if you end up in those courts, yeah, you collect. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be very, very bad for you. Okay, he's right about that part. So the key thing is number one, whatever you have to do, whatever wisdom you need to assume, so you don't end up in that space. That's what we need to be talking about. And if you're already in that space, it's how you respond to crisis in life. Remember, we talked about that here earlier when I talked about being counseled, right? It's how you respond to crisis. It's not about avoiding crisis. Crisis will happen to every single one of us, no matter how good of a guy you are. Okay, it's going to happen. How are you going to respond when it happens is the key. If you're already in that space right now, the question is, how are you responding? Okay, are you responding by overreacting, by being angry and making conclusions off of your own experience alone? It's going to get worse for you. Yeah, it's gonna get worse. Okay, no, it's not your fault. It's just how life works. Okay, just how life works. So there's something you need to learn. You need game. Okay, yes, there is game. Yes, some people have figured out some kind of principles. Some people that you can read, you can learn, and you can learn how to apply to your particular story. Yes, there is game. So there's a reason why some people have figured something out. Stop telling yourself that no one has figured it out. You're lying to yourself. And that's not going to work long term. You just be slapping yourself for lying.
Why the fuck you lying?
Okay? So it's true that you don't want to end up in those systems. If you're already in those systems, how do you, in that court system, in the Western world, if you end up in that court system, yes, not only will you be dragged, your whole family, your wife would think she's getting money for child support, she'll be dragged too, and worse, your children, they will collect too. Okay.
They will arrest you.
That's the part it's not going to tell you. It's going to tell you he's the only victim in this situation. That's what it's going to say.
If they arrest you, you don't get criminal record with that. And you get the criminal record, you go affect your working rights. If you they work, you not even they work. I don't even see one of.
Oh, okay. So guy man means a sharp guy, a playboy. Okay. So you just be a playboy. There's a good chance that if you've ended up in this situation, you're not really a playboy in the first place. There's a good chance. Okay. It's not who you are. You were trying to do family. You just didn't know how to do it properly. Okay. It's a chance, so there's a chance, but let's be guided. If you're not a playboy before, you are not a playboy still, especially if you have hurt that in your mind were created by the women in your life. You're probably not going to be a good playboy, because women are women everywhere you go. Women, the way God created women, especially the way God created women, you need skills.
Obìnrin.
Sorry, oh. And if you don't gather those skills,
Sorry, oh.
yeah, it's gonna get worse. Let's keep going.
My friend, the wife even give am allegation, say the man rape am. Now Nigerian man, they are from both of them. Now from I think they're from.
So somehow out of nowhere, she just gave allegation. Are there bad women that would do that? Yes. Are they common like that? No. That's the minority still. Okay. Majority of people in these issues are people that didn't have the skills of how to do marriage. That's the majority of these situations. Okay. It's not a person who is just a bad woman, who is just bad, inherently bad. No. The same thing when you flip it on the head. Majority of these men that end up being manipulators, controlling behavior, a terrible analogies aligning with 1960 methods of, they just don't have the skills. Okay? They might start resorting to talking like bad people. They are not bad people. They just don't know how to talk, which is why they will continue to collect with it's lack of social intelligence. They're socially awkward. That's why everywhere they enter, someone's like, what is wrong with that guy? Something is off, right? Okay, and it's why should we label it that way? Because you need to understand what's going on so you can actually create a solution for yourself. If you're assigning the wrong diagnosis in your head to these issues, your reaction will be wrong as well. Right, so it's very important that we label it the right thing, and when you label it the right thing, the solution is probably usually still back off. Take a walk from that situation, because you're not a doctor, you're not a therapist, you're not a counselor, you're not supposed to be fixing people. If it's not conducive for you, if it's abusive to you, you need to take care of yourself. Something is actually already wrong with you for you to be attracting that situation, okay? At least in the way you attract, at least in the level of self-respect you have for yourself. And it doesn't have to be a permanent decision, but people cannot respect you if you don't have any respect for yourself, okay? Am I encouraging people to walk away from their situation? No, I am encouraging people to walk away from abusive situation. Okay, particularly wherever you deem abusive. Don't let somebody tell you, but that's not really abuse. No, don't let them tell you that. If it feels like it on your end, it probably is. Okay, and at least you want to back off so you can assess things before you continue forward. All right, let's continue.
So as the man now even now you go woman where the man married before. Come go cause come testify. Say this man no be like that. If not, that man for go jail.
So you both woman come and testify for the man. You see how they process information, right? And that means, so it's kind of like your mother came to your rescue and saying, "Oh no, my son is never like that." And now it's your mother's word against your wives, and somehow that justifies, or somehow that indicates that the wife is a liar. You see how they process information? This is why they're struggling in marriages. This is exactly what they did before the marriage ended. Okay? I don't know what to call it. I don't even want to call it any diagnosis, but these are the issues. You can see it. I don't need to call it any name. You can see it playing out right now. Imagine if they were doing that before.
That man for go, that man for day, that man they for put her for corner. So the man I even come tell me, say man no even try, say man no even Naija go marry. Say that in a waste of time.
So the man said, don't go Naija, go marry. Some of them will say, particularly you need to go to Naija and marry, because these women around here, these modern women, these people, they will drag you with the they will end up in divorce court. Remember, there's another video we reviewed the other time. The guy was like, me, I would never marry a woman who is here, because they have a tendency to threaten you with divorce every now and then. I think it was saying African American, and somehow he thinks it's better to go to Nigeria. Oh, wahala. What did Natu say? It defeats the purpose of marriage. What did she say before? Why do you want to marry and live apart? Could make sense now, right? These are the people getting married without purpose and not putting any effort into making it work. Yes, it's the utmost disrespect for marriage. People get into marriage and they think it's just supposed to work just because naturally women should obey. Take care of children, and what was it again? Procreate, and what was the other rule? The third commandment from his medication plan. Voila. They are creating a new problem instead of getting to the root cause, dealing with their traumas, and equipping themselves with tools to be in a relationship. Yes, Yes, exactly. And then Chinye says it defeats the purpose of marriage. They just want to be, want a baby making machine, not even companionship. Yeah, we do have a section in the coming 30-day boot camp about the purpose of marriage. Where the date right now is June 12th. That will be releasing that. Let them keep running away from their shadow. Exactly. But let's continue.
And you go put you for trouble. You go regret that because you go woman, you go woman get problem. You go woman do that into you. You go feel endure than when your own follow person away from your race or your own tribe.
Oh, he just admitted to it. If a woman do this, you will fit endure it. You'll be able to endure it than when your own women, your own shadow does it to you. Somehow it's supposed to be painful, more painful. I've seen women say this before. I said they always endure it when it comes to white women or women from other nationalities, but somehow they want to drag Nigerian women or women of their own local identity. He's just admitted to that. And the funny thing is that he probably didn't realize he just admitted to that.
Up to you. You go if you make one step, you go get BP by force. Yeah.
Everything he said is probably the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Because, yeah, let's continue. The argument is just terrible. Okay, I think there's a problem. I think both men and women lack game when it comes to how to do marriage. Both, okay? But this, I need to call out the leadership. Okay, if a woman shows up and say, yeah, I was the leader, I will call her out too. Same thing. Okay, but for the most part, is the man trying to lead, and the woman is like, yeah, he was supposed to be a leader, but he doesn't want to play partnership. And you have I think all around, I think both men and women in this time and generation, they lack game. Okay, I think that's what's going on. But we have to start from the top. Okay, we have to start from the top. That's what we need to do. Okay, obey men, take care of children, and reproduce. If that's how you think about marriage, it's just like no wonder about marriage in the modern times, right? Where a lot of people don't even want to have children, where a lot of people don't even really want to marry. Okay, which is fine, but somehow they fell in love with you, and now you're trying to play that traditional role. How do you think that's going to work out? They fell in love with you. Maybe you said the right things in the beginning, but somehow now she's going to run away as fast as possible because she has options. And no, she might not tell you exactly why she ran away. In fact, she might not know. She just know that she doesn't want to be there. Okay? But I'm not a bad person, bro. Stop. Okay, stop. It's inferiority complex. Yes, that's the identity thing,
All
right?
right, let's hear from the ladies.
Good evening, Daddy Freeze.
Good
This is my first time in your video, and I'm glad I did. So, this issue has always been coming up, especially in the last 2-3 years. Nigerians were leaving the country in millions.
Japan. Huh?
So, okay, like I got in here. I'm in the US. I'm in Texas, and I'm in the US. I got in here 2 weeks ago through job. My husband is still in Nigeria. He'll be coming with the kids in summer. But what I feel...
Okay, so she's the one that jackpot first. So should she leave her husband in Nigeria because of the same fear? Just a question, right? Because by the way, this whole complaint of if you bring your wife, they will now turn and they'll start changing on you and all this. Women are complaining about the same thing. Women that go to Nigeria to marry men, they are complaining about the same thing. And you know when they say two to get two, so there's something beyond just the gender that's going on. It's not the genders. You know, some years back I would think this is common sense, but you know, common sense is what up, right? We can't use common sense for these things because we all have common sense. If common sense was good enough, everybody will be figuring this out easily. Common sense is no good, not good enough. Okay, so this guy probably has common sense, right? All these guys that are complaining about jackpot wives, they probably have common sense too, but somehow they're disconnected from the results they are creating. well, they're having a hard time holding themselves accountable, right?
And that's my own opinion. The problem is actually most of this problem they have abroad, I believe is foundational. Most of them is foundational issue. The foundation of the marriage. When the foundation of the marriage is faulty, people keep patching and patching and patching and patching. When the woman eventually travels out, or maybe through the help of the husband, or the husband will bring her over. So if there's been a maybe issue that has been piling up over the years, she'll start remembering them, and she'll start feeling that I have the right now. I can. You know how women behave now. If you do something to them like many years ago, they'll have.
She said, "You know how women behave now." What does she mean by that? What does she mean by that? Is she agreeing with some of the men's point of contention here, right? What does she mean by you know how women behave now? I'm wondering, maybe I missed something.
It in their mind. I'm now looking for an opportunity to give it back to you. That's what I feel that happens.
She's saying women are vindictive, right? There have been issues that has happened in the past, and this is going to be an opportunity to give it back to you once they jump out, right? That's what she's suggesting.
And secondly, the cycle of friends. When you before I got here, someone told me that please don't go and start keeping many friends, especially in Texas where they have a lot of Nigerians and everything.
Even Texas just collects stray bullets. Hey, wahala. Wahala. What did you say? Coffee break? Chai, she just came 2 weeks ago. You see, she just came 2 weeks ago. Can you imagine? She just came 2 weeks ago. She's jumping on live sessions, having extremely strong opinions, right? Does she even know what's going on with herself, even with her own situation? Yes, our gang is you. Voila. Jesus Christ, advise us.
Is even more of white, and people are.
Oh, they might turn around and say, "I'm not advising anybody. I'm just having an opinion." Ironio, they are literally advising. That's what they're doing. Okay.
See here, where I am, the city I am in Marble Force, I see more of married couples, and these are couples that have been married for like 30 years, 39 years, 40 years. Do you understand? So I now saw a different part of American system. Do you understand? So that one has already registered in my head. So I feel most of the problem they have is people that have already compounded issue, even when they are in Nigeria, they were now patching the marriage. Immediately they just leave the country. Immediately the woman just come over, she will explode. She will start telling you how the man was maltreating her, how the man cheated on her, how the man has done this, that. And they don't use the opportunity to start dealing with the man. Because marriage is, I feel marriage, because whatever happens and people start having issue or divorce, it will affect the kids. I was raised by a single mom, and even sometimes this still affected me. Sometimes I might understand something one-sided. I don't want that kind of thing to happen to my kids. Do you understand? So, in as much as there are people have issue whenever they come abroad, I still have a lot of people that are here in America and they've been together with their partners. Do you understand? You still quarrel and still come back together instead of trying to watch their dating limits, calling the cops and everything. So I feel.
All right. So let's talk about this calling the cops thing, okay? Let me be clear. Let me be very, very clear to you, okay? If things have gotten out of hand and you feel unsafe, you should call the cop. That includes you, gentlemen. Okay. In fact, today I was just looking at one of those Instagram blogs. A guy with bruises all over his chest, abused by his wife. Okay. Said his wife beats him up all the time. If he or she raises their hands or make you feel unsafe, they don't even have to raise the hand yet. You just feel unsafe. To the point where you start to ask questions in your mind, like, this kind of person might hurt me. You need to call the police. Don't let any random, willy-nilly anybody on the internet shame you. That's what they are there for. They're there to protect. Listen, if you don't call the police, if you're lucky enough, somebody who is walking by who hears a bunch of yelling or noises in your apartment, they're going to call the police anyway. In fact, I have a very close situation where the children call the police, and rightfully so. Your job when you come back from the police is to reset your brain, reflect. How did you guys get into that space? Okay, that's what you should be doing. You should come back. Okay, I know should is a fantasy word, but maybe you can borrow yourself some brain. If you came back from, you've been arrested as a man or a woman, because I've seen women being arrested too. If she calls the police and they see bruises on you, she'll be taken away. It's the minority of the cases, but she'll be taken away too. When you come back, you reset, you reflect. Clearly, we've gotten to a very bad place. Let's talk about it. That's what you should be doing. That's what you should be gravitating towards doing. You're angry. You're supposed to be angry. Why would somebody who you love ever call the police on you? You're supposed to feel that way. I get it. I completely get it. Okay? But I think that's better than somebody deleting each other inside of the apartment. Right? The people who have deleted themselves inside an apartment, they didn't plan for that to happen. It just happens to be too late already. If they were to be here and say, would they rather somebody have called the police, one of them have chosen to call the police, they'll probably always choose to call the police. You need to start thinking like that. Start thinking about one thing, one decision. Both situations are bad. The better of the good two evils. They're not, evils are evil. They're not good, right? Which one is the better of the two evils? You need to start thinking that way. No one's life is perfect. Stop getting gung up on some of these crazy ideologies that were born out of nowhere. They're useless. Who told you that it's such a terrible thing to call the police? Where did you learn that from? You should ask yourself, where did I learn that from? I know I feel some type of way about this. This is such a terrible thing. You're right, it's a terrible thing. That's why you should come back home and reflect. And ask, how did we get here? That's the question. Not how dare you call the police. That's not what you should be asking. That's lack of wisdom. That's like zero, nothing. That you're not thinking this all the way through. You're just stuck in your feelings. You're right. You're absolutely correct. That is terrible. That couples will call the cops on each other, call the police. You're absolutely correct about that. What do you want me to tell you? Okay? But what I'm saying, listen, you're right.
You're right.
But you're asking the wrong question after that. How did we get here? How did we get here? That's what you would do if you're thinking this all the way through, right? You won't be arguing with yourself if it's right or wrong. We all agree it is wrong. It's such a wrong, terrible situation. We've all agreed to that. But in terms of how you respond to that, the choices you have, the one that most people gravitate towards is self-sabotaging yourself. You're hurting yourself. You're moving forward without assessing how you got to where you are in the first place. Nothing good can come out of that. Because I've heard women say it too. Again, the common sense thing. Yeah, it should never be that, but you should never have to call the cops on your husband. Stop! That's the wrong assessment of what happened there. That's wrong. You're thinking right and wrong again. We all agree it was already wrong. You can't be going back and forth and be convincing yourself if something is wrong. That is becoming, I'm trying to be nice. Really what I want to say is that's stupid. That's really what I want to say, okay? But so many people are doing it, so I want to be nice. We're trying to convince ourselves that it's wrong. It's so bad. We should never have to call the police. Why are we talking about that? We know it's bad. How do you respond to that situation? How did it get there? Was that better than deleting each other in an apartment? The people that have deleted themselves in an apartment, I know you might say that's extreme, but it's happening. Do you think they planned it? Do you think they were like, yeah, you think they were more careless? You think those are just extreme and it's just bad people? No, they were just people who tell themselves that it's bad to call the cops. No, call the cops. Go and sleep on that bench in jail. When you come back tomorrow, you self-reflect. How did you get here? Who called the police? You called the police? Why? Why would you do that? Listen, I know how you feel. The person you love called the police just because you are arguing. Tintini, you're just arguing small. Just a small argument. You've already called the police. Don't do that to yourself. You're probably alive because they called the police. Think about that. You're probably alive right now because they called the police. And besides that, that's not the issue. The issue is not the police. You had issues before the police came. And that's what you should be facing right now. Like, wait. These issues, these problems are opportunity for growth. They're not necessarily a bad thing. It's a failure in communication, a communication breakdown. Something went wrong. Somebody said for antithesis for a foundation, whatever. All marriages start with the wrong foundation. Okay? Whatever. All marriages start with the wrong foundation. I said it. Yes. You will need to rebuild your foundations at somewhere around 2-3 years. A brand new one. All that foundation is you're in love. You don't know what you're doing. Okay? Every marriage. Right? You have to go through that. So even that one, no count. Oh, but you jackpot, so there was wrong foundation. Well, it might not have been jackpot, it might be something else. Something that shakes up the foundation. Some kind of change in the environment. Sometimes some type of clarity, like, wait, I just got married. I don't really know this guy. Wait, some kind of like, I just had 2 babies, but I have postpartum and I don't know how to handle it. Crisis will happen. Those first few years, yes, you're going to hit a stump. You're going to hit a wall at some point. Some people will make it, some won't make it. That's just the way it is. That's not just a jackpot thing. That's just life. It might have been you moved to Port Harcourt from Benue. A change, some kind of change. Some kind of bad behavior perpetuated. You know, somebody jail for you or something. I don't know. Something will happen that will shake up that foundation that you thought you built on. That foundation it's not a real. I don't care how much premarital counseling you went through. It has to be tested. It has to be tested to get to the other side. That's how you have a strong situation. If it's not tested, you don't. This is life. This is real life. Okay? It's not good enough that you're a good person. In fact, it's worse because you're probably putting yourself on a pedestal and you will fall. You will fall off of that pedestal. I guarantee you. Okay? So we will continue this if there's no trending topic. We'll continue. We're only 6 minutes into it, but you can see, Auntie Tamiyu should not really be advising anybody. Foundation is not the issue. Foundation is already an issue. Okay, this topic, this old jackpot topic, that somebody, it's just something that will happen to every marriage. It will come in different forms. It happens to be a jackpot situation for the people that jackpot. Right? But many people were not prepared for this. Many people will stay in funky marriages for a long time. And somehow they will continue to convince themselves that it's a good marriage. But the moment they hit crisis, can they withstand it? Right? Or are they going to be all over the place, confused, trying to point fingers at the easiest things they can find? Things like it is RN's fault. It is Jackpot's fault. It is this woman nowadays. It is this man who has comes. Auntie, have you self-reflect? Are you paying attention to yourself? Have you taken the time to see, wait, did I have the proper skills? Yes, I did. I'm a Christian. No. You're missing the point. You're missing the point. Okay? The divorce rate in churches is no different. Your pastors just won't tell you. Okay? They just won't tell you. You just notice that you haven't seen that auntie for a while. Okay? So we're trying to build a movement here people that figure this out, that understand this, people that are saying, no, there's something to, there are patterns. Yes, we're all unique, but there's some patterns you can pay attention to here, and you can become extremely skillful here. And then somebody is going to turn around and say, you're just lucky. You want to be that lucky person? Yeah, let them call you lucky all they want, okay? But there are skills, there are principles that guide successful relationships over time. It's not because they're perfect. They figured something out. Over time, you look at the results, you're like, I'm grateful. I don't even care if we're together tomorrow. I'm grateful. Okay? It's about today. It's about this moment in time. Okay? But anyway, Bond says she started off well by referring to foundational issues in the marriage and then completely derailed. Yeah, because it wasn't solid. It wasn't a solid point in the first place. That's why I listened a little bit longer. People can throw fancy words around foundational communication, boundaries, all that stuff. Just listen a little bit longer. Right? Where does DF get them from? DF has clout. Let's be honest. Yeah, they're all watching, which is good because we'll get to talk about these topics. Because our system in Nigeria doesn't support women speak out or leave when the marriage is not serving them. That's part of it, yes. Right? So that was the point A of that particular marriage. The point B is like, hey, wait, I'm enlightened. I got options. Right? Something changed. Well, guess what? The only thing that's constant in life is change, right? So when they're in an environment where they can, why not? Yeah, because they will be enlightened. And then it will look like it's because of Japa. You're kind of correct. You're kind of right. But the issues are deeper is the point. And it's not helping you focusing on Japa or RN or modern women or all these nonsense excuses to excuse yourself from holding yourself accountable. Okay? A wife beating her husband, I like her. We need to start beating our modern men. Make them forget sense. Just kidding. Listen, you're blessed, right? Gentlemen, if she puts her hand on you, you call the police. I know she's the mother of your kids, I get it. You're afraid. Nobody's going to take care of these children. Bro, she needs to be taught a lesson, okay? Somehow, something is disconnected in her brain and she thinks assault is the next solution. She needs to be taught a lesson. If you're afraid of losing her, maybe that's part of your problems. That's why she thinks she can do that. Of course, blessed is kidding, right? But the point is that we don't encourage that. Call the police all the time. Every time you don't wait until it happens. Every time somebody is getting out of hand or anything like that, call the police. Usually, you know what the police does? They come and they advise. The police answer to a lot of cases. Imagine if they are arresting everybody. It doesn't make sense. They're not arresting everybody. Sometimes they just talk to you and say, okay, you guys are going to be fine. If it looks too outrageous and crazy, somebody's probably going to take it taken away. If there are evidences that somebody has been assaulting somebody, yes, somebody will be taken away. Okay? For the most part, a man might be taken away because a woman, if she finds herself in a space where she feels threatened, she might say like, I feel threatened. If you guys have been dealing with that funk for a while, very toxic arguments, yes, you might be going away. And what you should do in that quiet time is to self-reflect. Come back home and say, how did we get here? How did I get here? Forget her for a second. How did I find myself in this space? That's the question you should be asking. You shouldn't be so concerned about how she called the cops. She could have saved your life, literally. Call the cops if there is domestic abuse and if you feel unsafe. Yes, I'm encouraging that, okay? Now, when I'm encouraging that, I do have to hold myself responsible for this. Some people, they just have low tolerance. Make sure you're checking your own tolerance level, okay? I'm not saying you should go crazy and go haywire and start calling. Hey, if somebody keeps calling the cops on you, maybe it's time for you to leave, gentlemen, okay? Let me say that to you too, okay? But try not to point fingers. She might be saving your life. I want you to see it from that standpoint. Stop worrying so much about why she called the cops. Worry more so about, wait, who am I with? Am I with the right person? See, the meanings you attach to the events in your life is everything. Very, very important. You know? So, yep. Not just, where's Shay? Come on here. Well, it's not about Shay. It's about every one of us, right? It's about every one of us and the people you might end up advising, not particularly you. Just, you know, you might be in a position where you can help somebody and they're like, oh, I don't want to, you know, sometimes I feel like, listen, call me. I'll come pick you up. If you feel like you can't get to your phone, call 911. I be whatever they call in your country. Don't let anybody shame you for normalizing feeling safe and secure in something you call romantic relationship. Could make sense. Okay, so I'm pushing hard against that. It's not about the cops. They're calling the cops because you have a terrible relationship. It needs to be fixed. That's the issue. All right, that's all I have for today. I'm 5 minutes overtime. 5 minutes overtime. That's all I have for today. We'll be back here tomorrow. If not tomorrow, it'll be next tomorrow. I might skip some days here and there, depending on, but I'll keep you guys posted. I will notify you inside of the WhatsApp group as we come along. On your way out, do me a favor, hit the like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. We're going to keep talking about this stuff. We'll be reacting. We'll be covering trendy topics. All of this kind of stuff. We'll be covering all of them. Okay? All right, I want to say shout out to everybody that came by tonight, this late night. Not to Bon Chance, Blessed, Chinye was here earlier, On Your Coffee Break, Kathy Williams. Shout out to all of you. Let's keep it short and sweet, right? Let's do this 1 hour thing. Yeah, a part of me is like, no, go longer, but nah. We gotta keep it moving to the bed right now. Fairest Goddess, shout out to you. Good night. From Scotland, UK. Shout out to you. Hit the like button on your way out. Okay, thank you. All right, hopefully you've been enlightened, educated. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.